On June 2023, submersible named Titan tragically imploded during its descent to the Titanic wreckage, killing all 5 people on board. But there are some pretty crazy facts surrounding this tragedy that you didn't know. So here are the top 10 shocking truths behind the Titan submersible disaster. Number 10. The CEO predicted the implosion. The CEO of oceangate, Stockton Rush, who was also on board the vessel when it imploded, had previously warned about the dangers of deep-sea exploration. In fact, just 3 months before the deadly incident, he told the New York Times that he felt like the industry needed a shakeup, and that he wanted to push the boundaries to make deep-sea exploration more accessible. He said, "I think it's a matter of time before there is a serious accident. Someone's going to get hurt." And unfortunately, those words would come back to haunt him, as just a few months later, he would lose his life alongside 4 other passengers on the Titan. No. 9. There were warning signs. Experts have pointed out that there were several warning signs leading up to the tragic implosion of the Titan submersible. One such sign was the fact that the vessel had suffered a catastrophic implosion on its previous dive. According to reports, the implosion occurred during the same dive where the noises were recorded and analyzed by experts. In fact, the sounds were so loud that they were picked up by sonar at the company's headquarters in Washington State, which is around 75 miles from the actual site of the disaster. This suggests that the vessel was under immense pressure when it exploded. But despite this incident, it seems that no major repairs were carried out, and the vessel was allowed to continue operating, which ultimately led to the fatal accident. No. 8. The passengers paid millions. The 5 people who died on the Titan submersible all paid millions of dollars for the experience. It's reported that each passenger had to pay $250,000 just to be able to take the journey to the Titanic wreckage. That's a lot of money for a trip that ended in tragedy. The passengers were identified as Stockton Rush, the CEO of oceangate Shahzada Dawood, and his son Solomon from Pakistan, British billionaire Hamish Harding, and French explorer Paul-Henri Nargoulet. All 5 men had different backgrounds and experiences, but they all shared a passion for deep-sea exploration and adventure. Number 7. A lifeboat was scheduled for the same day. Ironically, a lifeboat was scheduled for the same day that the Titan submersible imploded, but it was canceled for unknown reasons. This could have saved the lives of the 5 people on board, but for whatever reason, the lifeboat was called off. It's not clear why the lifeboat was canceled, but it's possible that the decision was made due to bad weather or other unforeseen circumstances. However, this has raised questions as to whether the lifeboat would have been successful in rescuing the passengers if it had gone ahead. After all, the Titan submersible was traveling at a depth of almost 4,000 meters, which is an extremely challenging environment to work in. Ultimately, we may never know what would have happened if the lifeboat had been deployed. Number 6. The vessel was not certified. The Titan submersible was not certified to carry passengers, which is a shocking fact, considering that it ultimately ended up killing 5 people. According to reports, the vessel did not meet the standards set by classification societies such as DNV, which provides independent assurance services to the maritime industry. These organizations are responsible for ensuring that vessels are safe and meet the necessary standards for their intended use. In this case, the Titan submersible was not certified for commercial operations, which means that it had not been thoroughly inspected and approved for carrying passengers. This is a major safety oversight, and it raises questions as to how the vessel was allowed to operate without the proper certification. No. 5. A former employee spoke out. So, former employee of oceangate, David Lockridge, spoke out about the safety concerns surrounding the Titan submersible prior to the deadly incident. Lockridge, who worked as a marine operations director for the company in 2018, claimed that he raised concerns about the vessel's design and testing procedures. However, he was fired after just 2 weeks on the job. In an interview with the Daily Mail, he said that he tried to raise safety concerns about the Titan submersible, but was ignored. My biggest concern was the lack of an independent third-party classification on the vessel. There are many things, including the viewport, which is a one-way window on the side of the vessel. It should have been designed to withstand the crushing forces at depth. Fortunately, his warnings went unheard, and the tragic incident would occur just a few years later. Number 4. The vessel lost contact. The Titan submersible lost contact with the surface just 1 hour and 45 minutes into its dive. This is a crucial detail because it gives us an idea of the amount of time that the passengers had to escape before the vessel imploded. If the submersible had lost contact much earlier in the dive, then the passengers may have had enough time to escape before the vessel reached its maximum depth. However, since the loss of contact occurred so close to the Titanic wreckage, it's likely that the passengers had very little time to react once the implosion began. This makes the tragedy even more heartbreaking, as it is possible that the passengers knew what was happening and were helpless to do anything about it. No. 3. A rescue operation was launched. A massive rescue operation was launched after the Titan submersible went missing. The U.S. Coast Guard, Canada's Joint Rescue Coordination Center, and other agencies all worked together to search for the vessel. A total of 19 ships and aircraft were involved in the search effort. Unfortunately, the search was unsuccessful, and the 5 people on board were declared dead after debris from the Titan submersible was found on the ocean floor. The debris confirmed that the vessel had imploded, killing everyone on board instantly. The cause of the implosion is still under investigation, but it's believed that a catastrophic failure of the hull caused the vessel to collapse. No. 2. The company had a history of problems. Oceangate, the company that operated the Titan submersible, had a history of problems prior to the deadly incident. In 2018, the company was fined $57,000 by the U.S. Occupational Safety and Health Administration for safety violations. OSHA cited the company for failing to provide adequate training and safety procedures for workers who were involved in the construction and maintenance of the submersibles. Additionally, the company had been warned by experts about the dangers of using carbon fiber in the construction of the Titan submersible. Carbon fiber is typically used for its lightweight and strength properties, but it can be brittle and prone to catastrophic failure under extreme pressures. Despite these warnings, OceanGate reportedly decided to proceed with using carbon fiber in order to keep the vessel as light as possible. Unfortunately, this decision would ultimately lead to the tragic implosion of the Titan submersible. No one. Communication with passengers. Despite the tragic outcome, there were attempts to communicate with the passengers on board the Titan submersible after it lost contact with the surface. The U.S. Coast Guard used sonar and underwater microphones, known as sonobuoys, to try to locate the vessel and communicate with those on board. Additionally, a remotely operated vehicle equipped with a camera was deployed to search for the submersible. Although these efforts were unsuccessful in rescuing the passengers, they did provide some insight into the conditions inside the vessel. The ROV's camera reportedly captured images of personal belongings of the passengers, such as a backpack and a blanket. This gave a glimpse into the cramped conditions inside the vessel and the personal items that the passengers had brought with them on the journey. Despite the heartbreaking nature of the discovery, it was a testament to the bravery of the passengers and the lengths to which they went in order to explore the depths of the ocean. Well, there you have it, the top 10 shocking truths behind the Titan submersible disaster. From the CEO's warning to the passengers paying millions, these facts paint a picture of the events leading up to the tragedy. While the disaster was ultimately unavoidable, there are lessons that can be learned from this tragedy that will hopefully prevent similar accidents from happening in the future. It's important to remember that pushing the boundaries of exploration is a risky endeavor, and that safety should always be the top priority. The loss of life in this incident is a stark reminder of the importance of taking all necessary precautions when exploring the unknown. Thank you for watching, and please share your thoughts below.